All right, back again today. Another stream, another game. Today's the deck building game by Martin Wallace, A Handful of Stars. So, if you don't know this one, it's pretty sweet. If you've ever played a Martin Wallace game, you know that he is a wonderful designer and makes some really good stuff. And this is no exception. This is also special. This was the last game that was released for Tree Frog Games before they stopped publishing. So this is just a very special game all around. And today is this game, and this variant is probably the simplest of any of the variants that I've tried. I did find a variant on BGG that I was intending to try, but it was a little more involved after I got into it than what I was expecting. The user that created it, I felt like left a lot of details out as to how to actually play through it. So instead, basically all I'm doing is I'm playing the game as normal. The setup of the game is the same that you'll find for in the rule books. And instead, what I'm doing is I'm just setting a round limit for myself, and I am going to just score as high as possible playing the game normally. And then I'll track my scores and try and beat my score each time. So maybe in a future stream, I'll keep working on the variant that was created by that BGG user and try and work it out and make it function and because it changed some of like the core concepts of the game too, as far as like how things work. So it was just a little hard to follow, but I'll probably work on that and do it in a future stream. But for today, we're just playing this game as it is in the rules by myself, and I'm just trying to track my score. So if you don't know how this game works, it's already set up. Basically, just a quick rundown as I always do. These are different planets that are in this star system. There's red and green planets. Red planets are uninhabitable. Green planets are habitable, which means that any planet that's not already controlled by a player will have an alien ship on it because it's habitable. If it's not habitable, then there's nothing there. But basically, you get points for building different different buildings. So you can have colonies, you can have outposts, and then you have a home base as well that you do. Like I said, I already did all the startup stuff. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of the full setup and how to play. If it seems interesting and you want to watch through it, then you can go and find a video on YouTube as to watch the full setup and the playthrough. But yeah, so this is set up for the solo variant. It is basically the deck size is similar to a 4-player game, which has the smallest starting deck size, because this game, the rounds in this game is really interesting. It's not when everybody takes a turn. Basically, there's this track here, and this is called the shuffle track. And every time somebody has to reshuffle their deck, then we move the track up by 1, and then these red squares indicate player count, and once it reaches that number, the game is over. You'll notice there's not one for single player because this single player mode doesn't exist. So basically what I've done is single player I've set to 6. So once I shuffle my deck 6 times, that's when the game's going to be over. Actually, I'm going to do one more round after the 6th shuffle. And then I'll end the game there, and I'll track my score, and then I'll just reset up, and I'll do it again. So this is going to be pretty straightforward, pretty simple as far as variants go. There's not really a whole lot going on here aside from the base game, but it is a fun game. It's a great deck building game, great artwork. Like I said, at the top of the screen here, you can see the direct link to our website to pick the game up if you'd like to get a copy of the game. So I'm going to stop talking about all this other stuff, and I'm just going to start playing the game. Okay, so hand of 6 cards. My deck and everything is over here. I try to get everything in frame as best as possible without me having to reach forward and move a bunch of stuff around. It is a fairly large table hog once you get everything set up. So, yeah, it's great. Okay, so everything's set up. We're good to go. I don't own that yet. Okay, so I'm going to take the first turn. So like I said, it's a deck building game. So if you don't know what that is, you have a deck of cards that you start with. You play the cards to get resources and take actions, and then you'll eventually acquire more cards to go into your deck to make your deck bigger. unlike other deck builders, you do not discard your hand at the end of your turn during this game. You just refill it to 6. Now, the one thing that I have added for the solo variant is at the end of each of my turns, I will discard a card in addition to whatever I've played. And if I end up with only 2 cards in my hand, I will discard both of them. And this will accelerate the clock for me and try and end the game a little bit quicker. And Anthony, yes, it is a great game. Anthony, I'm glad there are other people out there who love this game as much as we do. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's move that a little bit that way. Perfect. All right. So, on your turn, you can take 2 actions. They're listed here under player board. Also, the best thing about this is the back of the rule book has this chart here. It has the quick setup for the game, and then these are all the actions that you can do as well as the flow of the game. So this is your best friend whenever you are playing this game here. So you can build, which is you can add outposts and colonies to planets you're on that you currently don't have any of those on. You can move and attack people. You can colonize, which is how you colonize is how you add outposts and colonies. Building is building military units. You can get new technologies. You can reserve cards to use later. Some cards have effects that only trigger where it's on the if it's reserved. Where is this available? BGG. For the solo variant, there is a solo variant on BGG that someone made. As I said, this is not the solo variant that you find on there. And I tried to play through it. It seemed like there was a lot of details missing from the solo variant, and I had a hard time understanding how to play it. So this is just basically me playing the game as it's in the rulebook by myself, with the caveat that the round is ending at 6 instead of 14 for 2 players. And also, at the end of each of my turns, I'm discarding a card in addition to what I play, and if I have 2 cards left in my hand, I'll discard both of them to force me to shuffle faster. And I'm just going to keep track of my score. I will continue to try and work on the variant that the BGG user created and do another stream of this game, because that variant basically involves the alien fleet starting at the top of the board, and it looked like they just made their way down and try and attack your home base, which starts at the bottom here. It was a little hard to follow, so that's why I'm not playing that one. So, okay. So, we're all good to go here. All right, so like I said, so first turn, I get 2 actions that I can do here. Let's see what I want to do. So, I've set up my home base here, which starts with 2 fleets and a star base. And then I've also set my first colony up here. The cool scoring mechanic in this game is you get points for each colony and each outpost and your home base that you have on the board. So that's a way of getting points. The other thing that I'm gonna do is if I try and invade a system and I'm unsuccessful in the combat for taking it over, then I'm going to say that the aliens in that system will move closer towards my closest colony or outpost and start attacking me, and that's how I'm going to start losing points. So it's pretty straightforward. All right. Okay, so what is near me? Oh, that is an uninhabitable planet. Actually, hold on. I have to switch something out here. I can't have my home base on an uninhabitable planet. It has to be habitable. So we're just going to switch those around. No harm, no foul. Okay. I want to get more things onto the board here. So I think that what I want to do is first I want to see what we have here as far as technologies. Ooh, there's a black hole creator. Okay, not bad, not bad. Some good technologies out here. All right, so we're going to... I think I want to build up my fleet before I start sending them out. So actually, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move. So I'm going to use this card. I'm going to use it for the energy. Energy is how you move fleets from one system to another system along the track here. If you have wormholes, that wormhole tech that you've discovered, you can travel along special planets with wormholes on them. And I will use those as soon as I can. And those use research instead of energy. So, but I'm using energy now. I'm going to move one fleet, and I'm going to move it over here to this planet here. Now, this is uninhabitable, so there's no aliens there. But I can build a colony if I want to, which takes population, which is the green icon. So, look at that hair. Yes, look at the hair. It's I decided to just let it out today. As you for my friends back home that haven't seen me in a while, you can see how much more my hair has grown since the last time you saw me. Yes, I didn't realize you'd played this game, Dan. This game is awesome. You should tell people how awesome it is. All right, so if I want to build a colony here. Or I can't build a colony because it's uninhabitable, but I can build a outpost. So an outpost is going to cost me one population. So I will play this card here, and I'll take an outpost, which is these cubes, and I will place it here. And that is my 2 actions for the turn. And per the rules that I've created for the solo mode, I will now discard an extra card at the end of my turn. I am going to discard... Oh, sorry, outposts are worth extra points. They're worth 3 points apiece. So this is an active score tracker. So you'll start the game with 15 points total, for 7 points for your home base, 5 points per colony, and 3 points per outpost based on how many you have on the board. That equals 15. Sorry, no, it's not 15. It's 7, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. It's 27, I believe. Yeah, so, yeah. So 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, so there's 15. No, there's 12. And then there's 17. You'll start with 24, so I'll go to 27. Okay, so I'm the right score here. Yeah, so it's active tracking of the scores. It's pretty easy to calculate if you're missing something, so you can always recalculate, but try and keep up with that as you change your score here. So I did those. I got to discard a card. So I'm just going to discard this one here. Okay, and then you refill your hand to 6. The points of me adding the discard rule, in case you didn't know, is that because this track works off of me reshuffling my deck, it's basically taking time away. So I have to consider how many cards I play, because I always discard a card, so I'll draw through my deck faster. But if I ever end my turn with only 2 cards in my hand, I'm discarding both of them. So it's going to be, I'm basically adding a little bit of resource management as well to my time here. Okay. So I have these. Interesting. Okay. So I can use it for that. Developments. Do I want developments up there? No, that's okay. All right. So I think I want to build some units here. 1 matter, 1 population. That is going to be that. So I'm going to use these 2 cards together, and I'm going to use 1 matter and 1 population here. And then I'm also going to use my development tile up here. I'm going to flip it over for the matter, which is the red symbol. So that's 1. I'll discard this for another green symbol. So I have a total of 2 matter and 2 population, and that will let me build 2 military units. That can be a star base, or that can be fleets. I'm going to build 2 fleets. And whenever you build fleets, they always go to either your home base or wherever you have a colony. It's the only places that you can build them unless you have like a technology that says otherwise. So we're actually going to put these here with, the home base here. I'll just leave that off to the side because I'm going to want to try and take this fleet over here. Now, for these The reason you want to have a large fleet is because every combat you're going to lose fleets guaranteed, like you're going to lose ships. And also each world that has aliens on it has a base value that is how difficult, plus the value of whatever this token says that's face down whenever you flip it up. So, and this one has a base of 7, so I mean it could be as low as 9, and it could probably be as high as like 14 or 15. So I'm going to try and build like a massive fleet and try and send it out and take over that. So I did those. That's pretty cool. And then what else can I do here? I'm going to reserve a card, and I'm going to reserve these 4 shields, so that way I have I can use that ability for combat. And so that'll be the end of my turn. Since I have 2 cards, due to the rule, I'm going to discard both of them, and then I'm going to refill my hand to the 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I don't reshuffle my deck until I need to draw a card from it, so I don't adjust this track just yet. Card you have in play. Development counter and culture. Oh, you don't say. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reserve a card, because cards like this that have victory points on them only give you points while they are reserved, and they specifically say reserved, so they go in the special reserve. So I'm going to do that. So I gain the 5 points now. So that'll put me to 32. And I just keep brushing this microphone. So it's 32 there, and now I have a card that cares about whether or not I have those. So I am going to also reserve this card because it seems very good. So I'm going to reserve this card here. That's going to increase my hand size by 1 as long as it's reserved. So hopefully that will help me with having to discard extra cards at the end of my turn. So that's both of my actions. So I'm going to need to draw 2 cards, which means I'm going to have to reshuffle here. Now, reserving cards is great, but I'm also decreasing my deck size, which means I'm kind of working against myself, so I need to conquer some more planets or get some more technologies to bring my deck size back up so I shuffle less. So that's going to be the first space on here. As I said, we're going to 6 for the solo mode. Alright. So that's going to go to the deck, and then I will need to draw 2 cards. Alright. So, next turn. What do I want to do here? There's another culture thing there. I want to build a colony somewhere. So a colony is going to cost me 3 of those, or 3 population. So I will use 1 of these and 2 of these, and I'm going to take the colonize action. And I am going to take this colony here, and I'm going to build a colony. Yeah, I'm going to build it right there. It's going to replace that, and then since I use that colony, I get a new development tile. I think I'm just going to take this. What I would love to see is something that increases my reserves, because this race really cares about how many cards you have in reserves at a time. So I've already got, your base is you can hold 2 per reserve slot until you get these tiles that will increase it. So I already have 2 here, and I have 1 here, so I'm gonna want to get some more. Alright, so that's gonna cost me 4. Oh my goodness. I need to build more fleets. So I'm going to use this planet, which is going to give me 2 energy and 2 matter. That'll let me build 2 of... Oh, it doesn't need matter, I need population. So that's the 2 energy there. And then I'll use this for 1 population and this for 1 population for 2 to build 2 more fleets. And I'll do that here. Alright. So that's my 2 actions. Going to end my turn. 2 cards left in hand. Those are going to get discarded. And we're going to redraw now to 7, 2, 4, 5. And I'm already having to reshuffle. So that's going to raise my counter here. So I really need to do some things. I really need to get some combat going. Okay, I have enough of these. So I have 4 of that. So I could move 4 units. That would be 12. I think that's a pretty good number. But I want to try to get to 1 more if I can. So instead, I'm going to use this one-use action ability. One uses get removed from the game after you use them. So I'm going to use that. And it's going to let me remove one of my colony discs. It doesn't go on the board. I'm going to remove one. And then I get to take a tile from here. I will take one of these. Reveal that. And now I have my second action. So I think I have enough. I have 2, 4, 5. Yep, that's as many I have. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to move 5 units. Basically, each fleet that you want to move costs an energy. And I have, this one gives 2, this is 1, this is 1. Anything that has multiple resources on it, you choose what you get from it whenever you play it. So I'm choosing energy. So 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to use this tile up here for a total of 5. I'm going to move all 5 of my fleets over here to Jellyfin. And we are going to encounter and try and fight these aliens. So we're going to reveal this alien counter here, which is a 5. So that's a total of 12. And then I have a total of 15. So it's a good thing that I moved all those over there. Like, there are some extra rules where you can play extra cards to increase your combat and go back and forth if you want. But I'm trying to avoid that since my cards are kind of like my timer for the game. So I will, yep. So I'm up by 3. This is just how you can track the current stats of everything. So I'm up by 3. I'm going to win. So we're going to get rid of these aliens here. Every single combat that you're in, if you are the winner of the combat, you will lose half your fleet rounded down. And the loser loses half their fleet rounded up and also has to retreat. Unless it's an alien, then they just go away. So I have to lose 2 of my fleet that went there to fight, and they are now here. And that's my second action. As soon as I put a colony or an outpost on there, then I will have control of the system, and then that system, all the systems have a card, and they have like resources on them. So once I get control of that system, that card will be added to my deck. So that's the plan for next turn. So I'll have to end my turn there, which I'll actually go ahead and use this card that I've been holding in my reserve here. Portia says ignore casualties at the end of 1 combat, but I can only play it during combat, even though, oh, that's actually important because that means that I don't lose these 2 units. So I'll keep my entire fleet there. Haha! All right, smart. I am smart. All right, we're going to the next round. So I want to build a colony. So I'm going to use these 3 population. We're going to build a colony from here. We're going to build it onto Jellyfin that I just conquered. So that's going to give me another 5 points. And then it's also going to allow me to get another one of these tiles up here. And I want to go ahead and get that and then reveal this. And still no reserve. So and there's no science either. So that's kind of sad. So if I play anything, I'm going to have to discard my hand because how low my hand is running. Now the question here is, yes, it's true. So I'm going to have to redraw. I have to reshuffle anyways, so I might as well go ahead and use as many resources as I can. I really want that, but I need 4 research, so I guess maybe we just try and move again. I can move 4 units. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to use this 3 energy plus this energy here for a total of 4 energy. And I'm going to move 4 of my fleets over here to Arcturi. Oh, I need Jellyfin, which happens to be right on top. Okay. And then we're going to fight these guys. It's a 9. Oh, Lord. Plus 3, so that's 12. So we are at parity. So they're at 12, I'm at 12. So now is the part of the combat where... so defenders always win ties. And I will either have to play cards or use effects or this and that. And I didn't plan on that being a 9 because I'm poor at planning. So, and I don't have anything that gives me extra combat, and I don't have any developments left that I can use. So I'm actually just going to lose this combat, which is pretty not cool. So I unfortunately, this is defenders win ties. So because we're tied, so I'm going to lose 2 fleets, and my fleets have to return back to the closest home system, so I'm going to return them here. That's a bummer, and that was just a waste of a turn. Yep, so that's no fun. Alright, so now I got to discard that, and then we're going to redraw, and then I can't forget that I have an extra card in my hand from my card that I have reserved here. So let's, oh no, let's go ahead and show off these expert shuffling skills from all the years of playing Magic the Gathering and other card games. But yeah, it comes in handy when you're playing deck builders and stuff. It may look like I'm not shuffling at all, but I am. Alright, 4, 6, and that's 7. Okay, so I've reshuffled 3 times so far out of the 6. That's going to trigger the end of the game. Alright, so what can I do here? So I'm going to need to build some more units here. So I'm going to... I'm going to build 2 fleets. Now, I would build star bases, except for I don't have the technology to let star bases move. So until I get that, I'm not going to be able... Oh, I see how this works. This is a reserve card. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and reserve this Festival of Culture. It's worth 1 victory point for each development counter and each culture card that I have in play. So I have 1 card named Culture, which is worth 1, and then development counters I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's worth 6 points. So I'm going to go ahead and go up to 43 total. I think for the solo mode, after thinking about it, I think I'll do it in the second game, but I think I'm going to grab tokens to represent basically lost tokens. I'm going to make them work like blame tokens from Champions of Midgard. So every combat that I lose, I get a token, and it's worth a negative amount of points. And then the more that I get, the more points I will lose as it multiplies based on how many there. And that will help balance out the scoring. Just something fun, just to try out. Okay, so I built those. I don't have enough energy to move anyone, so instead... I am going to... I think I'm just going to pass, because I don't want to get rid of any more cards out of my hands, because I don't want to reshuffle faster. Okay. I need energies. So I need more combat stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this 3 science I have here, and I am going to get one of these technology cards. And I think I'm going to get the Dreadnoughts, because that's going to give me a bunch of combat stuff that I need. Just gives me 2 combat strength, which is really nice. I'll get to see something else here. I think I'm also going to, at the end of each one of my turns, I think I'm going to choose technology and get rid of it. Or I might do a thing where the bottom row is going to rotate out, and then I'll move them down and put 2 more out. So that way I keep seeing a refreshing cycle. I don't know. We're just making stuff up as we go because this solo variant doesn't exist. So we're just having fun. All right. So that's the end of that. That was my first action. And then my second action... I can remove cards from play. I don't want to do that. I think I'm going to use this energy. I'm going to move this fleet. Actually, we're going to go over to here. Now, these black discs on the board, these are wormholes that get created in the setup. You cannot pass through, or sorry, black holes. You can't pass through them. So they're kind of like block different paths here. So you have to be mindful of that when you're moving around. So I'm going to go ahead and move that guy over there and set myself up to drop an outpost on this planet over here so I can get that card. Okay, and then refill my hand and because of my extra hand size, I am going to have to reshuffle again. This extra card in my hand doesn't seem like it's paying off because I'm not putting cards in my deck fast enough, it seems. Okay. Alright, so there's things there. Okay, cool. So I've got some stuff that I can do. I'm going to build an outpost using this card. Nope, that is a discard pile. So build an outpost. So this outpost I'm going to put on Jork, as it's called, and I will grab Jork out of the cards here, and we'll add that. Ooh, gives some cool stuff over there. That's pretty nifty. So I have that, and that is another outpost, so I get another 3 points. So I'm currently at 46. All right, so what do we have going on here? So that was my first action, and then I have energy in my hand that I want to try and hold on to because I want to try and move. I need to move at least. If I'm going to move fleets, then I need to also have a way to help them in combat. And right now, I still can't beat these guys. So I need to save all the energy I can. And I want to build another outpost or something, because I have all of this. You know what? I'm going to take the action of removing a card from play. I'm just going to remove this card out of my deck, because I have a lot of population, and I need less population and more other things. So refill my hand, gets the end of my turn. 4, 5, 6. I need one more. 7. All right. So now I have. All right. Now I have what I need. Okay. So I'm gonna need 2, 3, 4, and I'm gonna move these guys over here. So I'm actually gonna use this card instead. So that's 4 energy to move them. And now they're going to go there. So now combat's going to happen. We're at 12, so we're at parity again. But I am going to use both of these cards. And I am going to give me +2 combat, and then which will take me over. So I'll be 2 over. And I'm also going to play the Force Shield, so that way I ignore all the casualties at the end of combat. So I don't lose any of my fleets here. And I will have a presence on Arcturi, and now I have a second action. I'm going to use, since I'm going to have to discard my hand anyways, so I'm going to use 1 of that population there, and I'm going to build an outpost on Arcturi, so that way I can get it out of the deck and add it to my deck. And it adds population. So it seems like a lot of the... okay, I see how it's working. Habitable planets always just give you population. Uninhabitable planets will give you the other resources, matter and energy. So if you need more matter and energy, you need to go to an uninhabitable planets, and then the opposite for the other ones. Now, maybe having all of this population would be different if I wasn't playing solo, but as it stands right now, it seems like it's a little bit of a hindrance. So there's 4, so that means I'm going to have to reshuffle. So that's the 5th reshuffle here, which means I have 1 more reshuffle before I have to count points. And since it's going a lot faster than I anticipated, I may even extend the length of the game to like 10 on the second game, but we'll see. So that is going to be 3 there. But we shall see indeed. Cool. All right, I've got things. Things are good. So now I'm going to want to build a colony, I think, so I can get more points. So let me just double check this. I've got 3, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 points there. 18, 23, 28, 33, 42, and then that'll be 47, and then that'll be 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. What I should be at. So, and then I just added that outpost. That's 56. Okay, so we're good. We're good. I need to move. I need to keep conquering. So I think I want to send all my guys down here. Yeah, so I've got 5 energy, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. So I'm going to use the 5 energy here. I'm going to move all my guys down here. Oh, I've only got 4 there. So I only need to use 4 energy, so I will hold on to that. And let's hope that I have enough here. So that's a 6, so that they have 13, I have 12. So they're starting at a 1-point differential. So, oh man. And I've only got 1 thing to back them up with here. I'm going to lose 2 units either way, even with that. Man, come on. Alright, well, I'm going to lose that combat, and they're going to have to retreat. I'm going to send them back over here to this system instead. So that was a waste. And then I'm going to, I guess, yeah, I'm running low on points here, so I'm going to need to do something. I'm going to use, I think I'm just going to pass, actually. Yeah, I'm just going to pass and draw a little bit less cards, because I've only got 1 more reshuffle before the game's over. So, tons and tons of population. I have a large population due to how many habitable planets I've taken over. Jeez. Same thing, I need more energy, which I don't have. So I'll use these 3 cards here, and I'm going to make another colony. And I'm going to put the colony here on... No, that's uninhabitable. I'm going to put the colony over here on Arcturi. And so that'll let me get another one of these, which I will just immediately take this thing that gives me the thing that I need for combat. So now I've got this. So I'm going to spend the 4 energy here. And we're... Well, how many cards do I have here? I've got 4 cards left. So hold on a second. So if I pass, I'll draw 3, and then I'll play 3, and then I'll draw 3. So either way, either I get one more turn or I get no more. Well, because I get one more turn after we do the last reshuffle, so that's fine. So, yeah, let's just do it. So there's 4. We're going to move. Oh, no, that's not going to work because I don't have everything that I need. So instead, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to use one of these to move this fleet here. And now I'll just end my turn, and I'm going to draw the 4 cards here to go to 7. And I don't reshuffle yet, so I've got that going for me. And now I've got my combat cards. Alright, let's do it. So there's 4. Let's go fight these guys. It's also important to note you can only ever invade or attack a planet or whatever once per round. So even if I was successful with beating this on my next one, I can't move to go to another one and then try and conquer that. So these guys, so I'm at 12, they're at 13, so we're still at the 1 deficit. That's all right because I'm going to play the dreadnoughts and the force shields again, so that'll give me +2 combat to go over them, and then I will ignore all the casualties this round. So I will win. We'll take that out there, and I have established a thing here. So now for my second action, I am going to use all 3 of these cards, and I'm going to make a colony here. So that'll give me another 5 points. That'll take me to 51, and that'll give me another one of these, which I'm just going to go ahead and take the one that's worth 2 points here. Try and increase my score since I've got 1 turn left. All right, that's my turn there. So if anyone's confused as to how this solo mode is being created, I will. I'll just write up a quick Word document on after I do the second game, because I already have some things I want to implement to change it up a little bit for the second game. I think it's going to help it run a little bit smoother. And then once I have that after the stream, I'll just type it up in a Word document, and then I'll post it online so everyone can find it and can just play. If you own a copy of the game, you can play it yourself at home, or if you don't own it, you can go to that link right there at the top of the page, and you can get it from our website. All right, so 2, 4, 6, 7. I'm starting to think that extra card in my hand was not a great idea. Oh well. All right, so I've got that. I have the dreadnoughts, and so I can move 3 units, which would be 9, and then I have +2 there. That'd be 11. Plus I have that, which would be 13. That starts at an 8. So I could move there. I could just fight these guys and see what happens. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's just go for it. So there's the 3 that I need. And we're going to move 3 here. We're going to go down to Zuth. So they're at 9, and I'm at 9. So we're at parity. So how about that? So now I'm going to play the dreadnoughts to get the extra 2 combat strength. And we are going to beat them. So we just got lucky. So I will take the Zuth, and then I'm going to use these 3 here, and I'm going to build another colony. I'll take this for my my token there, and then that'll get me another 5 points. Now, something I haven't been counting is this card that I have here, Reserve, so that is now increased in point value as well. So I'm going to do a quick calculation, since that was the last round for me. So now I'm going to calculate the points. I can check everything that's on board, because I haven't gained anything outside of it. So let's start off. Let me get my handy dandy notepad and my pen, as I always keep track of the games here. So let's go with the home base, the colonies, and the outposts. So that is 7. And then for colonies, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be 30. And then the outposts, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is going to be 15. So that's 52 by itself. And now I am going to check the other cards that I have here. So that's going to be 5 points there. This is going to be 4 points, so that's another 9 points. And then this is going to be worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's going to be 18 points total there, which is going to give me a total of 70 points on the dot. So game 1 is going to be 70 points. Not bad. Not bad. So as you notice, there was... in this first iteration of this game 1, there was never really a whole lot of pressure from the aliens, because and normally in this game there's other players, so there's a back and forth of getting attacked, knowing when to attack, when to do things, and combat becomes a little bit more relevant. So it's a little bit less pressure there, but I had more pressure on watching my hand size and watching my card play, so it's just like a different mindset. Now, in game 2, I am going to add a few things. And what I'm going to add, as I said, is first off, I'm going to add tokens that will act the same way as blame tokens from Champions of Midgard, which if you don't know what they are negative point tokens. So every time that I lose a combat, I'm going to take a token. And the first token is going to be worth -1 point. And then the next one I take is going to give me -3 points. And the more that I get, it's going to multiply and give me these... negative points. I'll deduct that from my score. I'm also going to extend the rounds. I'm going to extend the reshuffles from... I'm going to go from 6 to 8 on this one. And I'm also going to implement cycling technology. So I have it set up like this. At the end of each of my turns, I'm going to rotate the bottom 2 out and then move it down and put 2 more in. So this will constantly be rotating and changing. So I'll always have technology there. And then I think I'm also going to... I'm gonna add something else to try and help the aliens, try and buff them up, maybe give them some movement rules. As well, to try and pressure on me. So I'm going to get the game reset for game number 2. So I'm going to redistribute all the planets, redistribute the black holes, redo all the races that I'm playing, redo technology. So this is going to take me a couple of minutes. I am going to put the game on, or I'm going to put the stream on the Be Right Back screen with the music playing. I'll post a thing in the comments to let people know I'm not done. I'm just resetting the game. And then you guys will know right when I get back here in just a couple of minutes. All right. I have returned. Sorry it took a minute. I wanted to finish getting everything set up here. So most of the setup has been taken care of. I wanted to go ahead and finish going through the setup with you, so you kind of understand what's going on. Just in case you haven't played this before. So I've already redistributed all the planets. The planets are always set up randomly. So they're put out face down, you flip them face up, and that is how you determine them. These little letters are on the bottom of some of the planets. Those are black hole indicators. You'll put a disc on each of those planets that has that symbol, and then you're going to look around that planet for the matching symbol on the ways in between, and then if that symbol is on one of those connectors, you will move the disc to it. That creates the black hole. If that doesn't exist, then you don't add the disc. It just gets removed. And also, if there's multiple planets near each other that have the same letter, then you just remove it instead too. So I've already placed all the black holes. I've placed all the planets. I've gotten the new race with the starting card. So you have your base cards. You have the 3 race cards that come with the race you pick. You have 2 random technologies. And then in the solo mode, I'm doing 3 habitable planets, 3 uninhabitable planets. So I've already done that much, and now I'm going to finish getting this set up. So whenever you have your planets here, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take 6 of these. The cubes are used to mark as outposts. So first we'll mark each planet with an outpost, and then after you mark each planet with an outpost, you will then choose one of those planets to start as your home base, and then you'll choose another planet to start with a colony, and then the rest of the planets will stay as outposts, just to kind of help finish with the setup. So let me see. So for habitable planets, I need Zuth, Glinda, and Helios. So let's go this way. Oh, this should be here. So there's Zuth right there. There's Helios, and then there's Glinda. All right, so those are those. And now the uninhabitable ones, I need Flatbush, Grail, and Mugator, or however you want to say that. Flatbush, Grail, and Mugator. There's Flatbush. There's Mugator, which should have this black hole here, which is making it almost impossible to get to these planets over here. And then I need... What was I saying? Grail? Where's Grail? Where is... Aha! There we go. So there's Grail. Okay, so I've set all my markers here, and now I'm going to figure out where I want my home base to be. So I'm going to take a look at the board, and I'm going to see where all these black holes are, which this one should also be here. Sorry, sometimes it's easy to miss the black discs. So all the black holes, or all the black holes are placed. Okay, so home base, I'm going to make. I want something that's easy to travel with. Looks like wormhole technology hasn't come up yet, so I shouldn't look at wormholes, I don't think. Now, each other space on here that's a habitable planet that I don't have is going to have an alien fleet on there. So I just should take that into consideration as well. This is a pretty good starting spot. It's got a lot of pathways to go across the board, I think. And I'll have a lot of encounters I can do. So I'm going to set up my home base here. And then I want to set up my colony kind of across the ways in a different sector. So I think I'm going to set my colony up here. So my colony will start with 1 fleet and 1 starbase. And the home base is going to start with 2 fleets and a starbase. That's going to go here. So I'll keep the starbase off to the side, since that's not going to move around unless I find the technology. Now, another thing that I'm going to do for this is I'm actually going to take the Starbase. Is that the only one in here? That is the only one in here. Okay, so I'm going to take the Starbase movement, and for this solo mode, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say that I already have it, and it takes one of the slots in my reserves, so I can move my Starbases around if I need to for 2 energy apiece. That's what. So I have that because it doesn't give me any points or anything, but it does take up a reserve slot. And moving Starbases is powerful, but it will also require me to spend more energy, including retreating them. So it's likely that they'll get exploded. Now, another thing you'll see on the table here, these are the actual blame tokens from Champions of Midgard. Like I said, I'm adding them into this one. And what I'm going to do is every time that I lose a combat with the aliens, I will take a blame token, and the blame tokens will give me negative points the exact same way they do in Champions of Midgard. So the more blame tokens I get, the more points I'm going to lose at the end of the game. We're not going to call them blame tokens. We'll call them shame tokens. I am shamed that I was beat by the aliens. So I will take shame instead. So sad. Alright. Other than that, everything else is the same. If you didn't watch the first game, basically the solo games played the same way as the normal game with multiplayers, except that there are no other players, obviously. The shuffle track is actually going to go to 8 on this one. So once I get to 8 shuffles, then that's going to trigger the end of the game, and I will get one more round after the 8th shuffle. And that is the timer for the one-player game. I'm still going to populate all the aliens as normal. My goal is to get as many points as possible. In the first game, I scored 70 points, so I'm going to try and get more than 70 on this one. But I've also added in the shame tokens for this that didn't have the first game with, so I'll get those for every combat that's lost. And I'm also starting with the Starbase movement in my reserve. And also, at the end of each of my turns, I'm going to rotate technologies. So I think instead of moving everything down and making it fiddly, I'll just start at the bottom, and I'll move these 2 out and replace them. And then the next turn, I'll do these, and then these, and then these, and it'll kind of simulate the same thing. So that way I don't have to move all the cards all the time. Try and keep the game flowing. Okay, so I have those. That's all set. Technologies are here. I need to add the alien tokens. So the alien tokens are going to go on face down onto every habitable planet that's on the board that I do not have a presence on. So that's going to be it's going to be quite a few of them, actually. So that's going to be there. And they're not that far out from me either. They're pretty close, which means I can kind of get into some good combat here, I think. Now, if you watch the first game, you'll know that I made some pretty poor decisions as to when to attack and not have like a backup plan or anything to add to my combat. So I'm going to try and be better about that this game. Okay, so those are all placed. Now, there will also be a fleet on each outpost that I possess, so they'll start with 1 fleet there. So there's a fleet, there's a fleet up here, there's a fleet here, and there's a fleet here, and that's all of them. Alright, so now I just got to adjust the starting points, and I also need to get my, I also grabbed this little bag. It doesn't come with the game, I just grabbed it because we have them on hand. So I'm going to pull out the starting technologies here. I need 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exactly. Okay, cool. So this will make it a little bit easier. As part of the setup, your home world and your all of your discs are going to start on your player board, and then as you build colonies, they'll come off, and you'll get to replace them with these tiles here, which are just like bonuses, basically. So since I have 2, I'll start with them. I'm going to take the reserve tile. Since I'm playing with the Starbase movement, I want my extra reserve slots back. Every time you take one, it's going to replace itself. So then we have these, and Technology seemed like I was really lacking in the last one, and I didn't look at the cards that came with the store-bots, but the names of the cards that you get with these are out of storage, recycling plant, and warehouse, so I think that they have something to do with storage. Like, they probably care about storing things quite a bit. So I have the extra reserve space here, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the one that has the science on it, because I have a feeling I'm going to want to go technology heavy in this game. Better not do that. Okay, so that is all the setup that's done, except for, I got to get my starting points. So, like I said, you still start with points with your base plus all of your other things. So that's 7, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24 points is going to be your starting score. So just as a benchmark, I'm going to say that each game I'm going to try to get at least 74 points. So I'm going to try and score at least an additional 50 points by the end of the game, just kind of like as a benchmark. Like I said, if this seems interesting, I'm just going to take my thoughts on like what I did here after the stream. I'm going to type it up in a Word document. I'll upload it online. And then that way, if it looks interesting and you wanted to try what I'm doing for yourself at home, you can just find that document. It'll be on probably like BGG or somewhere. You'll be able to find it, and then you can try it at home. And it's just like a fun little variant you can do just for fun on yourself, because solo gaming is on fire right now. And also, of course, that I do every stream. It's just a quick update on what's going on with us in the world. Like I said, the game you can get from the link at the top of the screen there. It's GreyFoxGames.com. You can find all of our games on there. We also have a lot of exclusive like upgrades and promos and everything for all of our different games you get only from the website, so you can get all that cool stuff on there. We also have a Kickstarter that's live right now for our game For Science. It is a cooperative real-time dexterity game about curing viruses and disease. So, and the coolest thing about that, I think, is that we are doing a special thing for the campaign. For every copy that is sold during the campaign, we will donate $5 to the Direct Relief Charity Fund, and that's going to help fight the actual viruses that are going on in the world. And those funds come directly from us. They do not come from the Kickstarter campaign or anything like that, straight out of our pockets. I believe we added a graphic on there so you can see how much we've raised so far. So that's a cool thing. So you can get a great game about curing viruses and then also help contribute towards fighting actual viruses, which is pretty cool, because tabletop gaming is a wonderful industry. It's a wonderful hobby. And if we can also do our part and try and help the world by, doing what we love to do, then there's no reason not to do it. So go check that out. It's on Kickstarter. It's called For Science. And I am done ranting and telling you about all the stuff that's going on. You can keep up to date with all that stuff through our newsletters. You can sign up for on the website, as well as just checking the website and all of our social media occasionally. You can see all of the social media links we have here on the screen, as well as just, Facebook, Instagram, pretty much all the major ones. So just keep up to date with what we got going on. All right, so let's get into the game. So hand of 6 cards to start with. Draw a deck, I can have those. Everything else is here, and we're good to go. Yep. So, like I said, I'm gonna make this a little bit easier on me. We're gonna get a little nifty here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna use this little thing here, and I'm gonna mark the 8th space here, so I know that is where my timer is going to be on the game. So that's what I'm going to, is 8 for the solo mode. Alright, so like I said, last game I scored 70 points. My goal is to not only score higher, but I do not consider this a win unless I get at least 74 points. So basically, since I'm starting with 24, I'm trying to score an additional 50 points by the end of the game. And that is how I will consider myself to be victorious. So, let's do it. All right. Okay, so I've got okay hand. I'm starting here. I've got my starbase and whatever. And like I said, for this game, I have the starbase movement technology already in my reserve. So I can move my starbases now. They start with it's 2 energy to move them versus 1 for a fleet. Now, I am surrounded by a lot of uninhabitable planets, so this is a pretty good line, I think, for me to set up to connect to where the aliens are, as well as get some outposts on here, which will give me more cards in my deck, and will also increase my score by a fair amount for each one that I can push. Plus, some of these have the wormhole technology, so once wormhole technology comes up and I can get it, then I can use wormholes to bounce around the map. So that'll be pretty sweet. All right, so I think it's a good idea. I have 2 fleets here, and I have that. So I think I want to start by 1 use free action. Let's see what this does. Draw 3 technology cards from the deck and choose 1 to add to your hand. Oh, nice, nice. Double the movement distance of your military units. Oh, nice. So that means that for every energy that I spend to move a military unit, they will move 2 spaces instead of 1. So that's pretty sweet. Then out of storage, free action, exchange development counter with 1 from the display, then draw a replacement card. Oh, that's pretty sweet. If I wanted to exchange stuff out of the display, or I can just play it for the other things. Okay, so I've got some cool stuff going on here. So I'm going to start with the Blue Sky Research, and that's going to be the 1 use free action. So it's going to get removed from the game, but I'm going to draw 3 technologies from the deck, and I'm going to choose 1 to add to my hand, and then the other ones I'm going to discard here. So I've got Culture, which will give me points if I put it in my reserve. Black Hole Creator. I can create another black hole on the map. This is really useful in the multiplayer. In this one, I don't think it's going to be as useful unless I create some sort of AI for the aliens to move around and do stuff. So I'm actually just going to replace that because that's never going to get used, at least in my version of the game. I'll add that to my notes that I create after the stream. So now I have Culture. So that's points. I can reserve, which gives me extra combat while I'm defending. I'm going to remove that one as well because I'm only going to be attacking in this one. So instead I've got reserve. Once during combat, you can draw 2 cards from your deck and double their matter value. Okay. That's not bad. You may build military units on outposts. Must still expend population and matter. Okay, so that's pretty good. That's an action. This is a reserve, which seems really powerful. But also just getting 4 points seems really good. So I think I'm going to take the missiles. Actually, I'm going to take the Culture because I have a missiles here in the display that I can I have access to already. So I will take the Culture and do to that card. It adds it to my hand, and that was a free action. So I'm going to do that. So for my first, since that was free, I still have 2 actions. I'm going to use 1 action to. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to reserve the Culture. I'm going to put it over here. So now it's going to give me 4 points automatically, as long as I have it there. So that's my first action. My second action. Also, side note, if you didn't watch the first game, added a rule for the solo mode. At the end of each of my turns, I will discard a card in addition to what I play. And if I'm ever down to just 2 cards in my hand, I will discard both of them, and then I will redraw. So that'll force me to reshuffle quicker. And also keep a track of what my hand size may be. Exchange development counter with 1 from the display. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do... Oh, this is a reserve card as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and reserve this too, because I want that. So I'm going to reserve the fast ships. So now I have the extra points. All of my ships have double movement, and I can move star bases. Let's start with that. So that's actually really powerful. So those are my actions. So I'll refill my hand to 6, and then we'll go to the next turn. So that was... Oh, sorry. I need to discard a card here. I'll discard the out of store. No, I want the technologies. So I think I'm going to discard Flatbush. So I'll end up drawing 3 cards. Also, at the end of each turn, like I said, I'm going to be changing these out. So I'm going to discard those and replace them. So on the next turn, I will get rid of these and replace them, and then go on and up, and it'll keep going. So all the technologies are going to keep cycling. All right. So, nope, I want to go this way. All right, sorry. I was trying to stay in frame and keep these gorgeous locks on camera. All right. So I have another. Didn't I discard that? No, I didn't discard that. Okay. Recycling plant. Free action. Flip all of your development counters to their front sides, then draw. Oh, that's what these guys do. Okay, so normally with these development counters, like the ones that have resources and stuff, once you flip them over, like either a one-time use that you spend to reflip them, this lets me unflip all of them and keep getting my resources back. Oh, ho, ho, ho. That is spicy. I like it a lot. That is empty. I should probably have gotten some water. It's all good. Okay. Wow, that's good. Wow, that's good. Okay, so I need to build colonies. Colonies, I can build 2 more colonies right now because I start with... no, I can build 1 more colony because I have 1 planet that I have an outpost on that's habitable. But if I want to build more colonies, which will open up more spaces for the discs, or for these that I can start abusing, I need to take over more habitable planets. So I need to get to where I can start fighting aliens. So the first thing I'm going to want to do, and because I have double movement thanks to my the card that I put in my reserve, that's really good. So I think I want to build first. I want to build units. So let's see if there's any technologies that I want here. Now, that says reserve 0. I'm going to just double check this real fast. Right here on the front of the rule book, it has the card types, and it gives you, if it's a special one, it tells you how it works. Justify what's in... Huh. Not sure. Okay, so that's reserve. All right, never mind. Okay. So that's really good. I should have gotten that. The mass armies, it lets you use population to add to your combat strength. I should have gotten one of those last game because I had so much population that it would have let me do that. That's really powerful, actually. So I'm actually, and that it also costs 0. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to take the mass armies as I'm going to draft a technology. So that's my first action. I'll replace that. Ooh, and then I have another culture. And then I do want to get these missiles because they're going to rotate out. So I am going to use these 2 cards here. Give me the 2 research. And I'm going to use... Oh, wait, I don't need 2 research. I need 1 research. So I'll take the one that has the free action on it. And I'm going to take the missiles. All right. Ooh, and then the research laboratories can give me more research as well. That's pretty good. Yeah, I actually want that. So I'm going to try and keep my deck size a little bit larger on this one, like I said, because I want to try and run the game out a little bit. Ooh, and then there's the wormhole technologies. So once I get those, I can start bouncing around on wormholes. That's exciting. Okay. Okay, so that's good. That's going to be my 2 actions. I got 2 technologies, so now I have to discard a card. I'll discard... Yeah, I'm going to build some units next turn, so I'm going to discard that one. And then I'll refill my hand, draw 4 more cards. We've got to rip... Oh, no, the wormhole technology is going to cycle because it came into the road. Oh, man. That's a bummer. It came into the section where it was rotating out. But if I keep getting technologies and they keep cycling, I should see it again by the end of the game. So that's okay. All right, what can I do here? I don't have enough to build a colony, but I do have enough to build some things here. So I'll use these 2 for energy and then these 2 for matter. And I will use that. I'm going to build units. I'm going to build 2 fleets. I'm going to put them here on my home planet. All right. Is there anything out there that I want? Yes. I'm going to use this development counter for the science, and I will use that to get the development technology, so that'll be my reserve card for the action. Because the that's going to let me remove discs and then get more of the... it's going to let me get more of the development tiles, and since I have that card that's going to let me reflip my development tiles, that's going to be really powerful. So that's my goal, is I want to try and build that up as much as possible. Ideally, I would build the colonies to get more points, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so that is my second turn, or my second action. So I will have to discard something. I am actually going to get rid of Glinda. So I need to draw another 2 cards after this. So that's my first reshuffle. But now I've added like 4 cards to my deck so far. So that's pretty good. I've added a lot of technology, so that is pretty powerful here. Alright. So far, so good. Also, I think the most clever thing about this game is actually the name. It's a deck building game called A Handful of Stars, and when you conquer, when you get a planet that you've established on, you get the card of the planet into your deck, so it's like a literal handful of stars. I think that was just brilliant on Mr. Wallace's part, so well done. Alright. So there's another 2 cards there. And then I will also need to rotate the technologies, so those are going to go there. Okay, temporary wormhole is not bad. Let's see. Make C the reserve limit. And draw and replace a card. Oh man. Okay, so I can reserve. The warehouse will let me keep banking cards in my reserve, ignoring the limits. So I want to reserve as many things as possible. Okay. So that means I want technologies. So I'm going to use these 3 for technology, and I'm going to take the dreadnoughts. That'll put it there, because that's going to increase my combat size. And then, since I'm going to have to... If I want to do anything else, I'm going to discard my whole hand anyways. So I'm going to use... I'm going to use the free action of Recycling Plant, and I'm going to flip that token back up, and then I draw a card to replace itself. And now I have these, and I'm actually... Since I still have 1 action there, I think I'm actually just going to pass. And then I'm going to draw 3 more cards here. And I'm going to rotate the technologies here. Another rule I think I'm going to implement is just to try and push the point. I think every time the technology deck runs out, I'm going to take a shame token, or a blame token, if you will. And that way, it'll kind of help push the game a little bit for me. So basically, the more technology that I get, the more points I'm going to lose at the end of the game. And then I'll also go ahead and say, because there needs to be a way to get rid of shame tokens. So I think that the way that I'm going to do it is... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that I can get rid of a shame token if I basically skip my turn and discard my entire hand, and that gets rid of a shame token, because that's going to rotate out 6 or 7 cards based on my hand size, and then that can push the game forward a little bit. So, yeah, so we'll say that. So every time this deck runs out, I get a blame token, and then I can get rid of blame tokens by discarding my hand and skipping my turn. That works. We'll see how that works out. I don't know. We're kind of just seeing how it goes here. All right. So I've got research laboratory. So I've got 2 research here. I've got 1 there, so I can get a total of 3 if I want it. 1 occupied or neutral system. I see. Okay. Yeah, that's what I want, actually. I want that right there. So I'm going to use the research laboratories for 2, and I'm going to use this research tile, and I'm going to get the artificial intelligence here. That will increase my hand size once I get it reserved. So that's what we're going to do there. And then I need to start moving my fleets out. So I'm going to, since I'm going to try and get through my deck as fast as possible right now, I'm going to go ahead and use this 3 population, and I'm going to get, put a colony up here, and that'll let me get another development tile. This one is technology and energy, so I think this one I'm going to take technology and matter, and that'll put that there. That'll increase my score by 3. Since I added, 5. No, that was right. It was 13, so I was at 18. Okay, 20. So there's 24. Oh, yeah, so that would have been 24 plus this was 4. So that would have been 28 plus 5. Yep, so I'm right. Okay, cool. So I'm at 33. Alright, so that's going to be the end of my turn. Since I did that, since I have 2 cards in my hand, I'm going to have to discard them. And then I need to redraw 6. Okay. Ooh, the hair. Hair is real and out of control. Okay, I have things. I have energy. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and use both of these. The one-use action, I'm going to use development. I'm going to get rid of a colony, and it'll let me grab another one of these tiles, which I should go ahead and grab another one to replace. Ooh, science. I'm going to grab this one that has population and energy on it. Ooh, those are really good. And then I have that card that'll let me swap those out if I want to. I like this race a lot, letting me swap technologies out and everything. Well, not technologies, the development tiles. And then my other ones, I'm going to reserve a card. I'm going to reserve the mass armies. I have to go into this reserve because this reserve is full right now. And unless I use the warehouse or get another reserve token, I can't do anything there. I may use population to add to my combat strength now. So that's relevant. So that was my 2 actions. So I need to refill my hand to 6. So there's 1, and so now I'm going to reshuffle again. So there's my second reshuffle. Once again, the game is going to 8. So I am a quarter of the way through the game. I'm trying... I think my strategy right now is I'm trying to build up my base, like my strength, build up my fleets and get everything ready to go. And then I'm going to start using what I've acquired to go out and start taking over planets and fighting and get points that way. Because I have so much stuff reserved. I have a lot of actions here that's going to let me do a lot of cool things. So that should be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to rotate these here. All right, so there's that. Oh, yep, and there's that. Both my actions are going to be reserves. So I'm going to reserve the missiles and the dreadnought. So now I have an extra 2 combat strength and then once during combat, I can draw 2 cards from my deck, and I double their matter value. And matter is what you use to add to your combat score during fights. So I'm just really strong right now. So that was both actions. That's going to be here. I also have to discard a card. Sorry, I may have been forgetting to do that, so I'll just discard that there. Alright, so there's that. I need to rotate the technologies. Okay, so that's good. Alright, so I think it's time that we start doing things here. So I am really strong. So I need to start getting everything here. So I think what I'm going to do... So I'm going to be losing fleets. So I'm going to, since I have double the spot here, I'm going to use 3 energy here. And I'm going to move 3 fleets. 9 so far. Sorry, so that would be... Yeah, so moving 3 of these is better than moving the starbase in one of those. So since I have double, I'm going to go from here to here down to Bearlith. And I'm going to fight these aliens because I'm really strong. So they are at 9. I'm also at 9 by myself, but because I have the Dreadnoughts, I have an extra 2 combat, so I'm up by 2. So I'm already winning. And I'm also going to go ahead and use my missiles ability. It's going to let me draw 2 cards, and then it doubles their matter value, which they don't have any, but I get to draw 2 cards, so that's really powerful. And so I'm going to win the combat. So I will beat them. And I will have taken that. And then my second action, I need to lose one of my fleets to combat, and then I'm going to use this so I can go ahead and add an outpost here, and that outpost is going to give me 3 points, and then I'm also going to get that planet, so Bearlith. That is going to give me this planet here, and that's going to go to my discard pile. Alright, and that is the end of my turn. I have to discard a card. I don't want to get rid of that. I don't think I want to get rid of that, so I'm actually going to, yeah, get rid of the research labs for now. I'm going to draw 3, refill my hand, and now I've got to get rid of these technologies, replace them. So we'll go ahead and we'll get rid of these space mines as well there, since I don't use that. Draw 2 cards from your deck. Oh, cool. Cool. That's a free auction. That's pretty good. Alright, so back to my turn again. So I've got... This is good. Warehouse, I'm going to use the free action. I'm going to place a card into my reserve. It can exceed the reserve limit, and then I can draw a card to replace that. So I'm going to put my artificial intelligence into my reserve over here. And now I have an extra card in my... I have an extra hand size. I replace the card there. I still have my 2 actions for the turn. This is going to let me exchange development tiles if I want. I don't think I want to right now. Actually, I do. And it's a free action too, so I'll go ahead and I'll use it. So I'm going to exchange this face down energy technology for the 2 technology tile. I'm going to try and get those 2s up here. And I replaced the card there. Or I need to replace the card. Okay, so I don't have enough for... Oh, I do. So I'm actually going to build another one of these. So there's the 2 population from the cards. I'm going to use this development tile for the 3rd one that I need. And I will place a colony down here on Bearlith. That's going to give me another 2 points, because it goes from 3 to 5. And then I also get to take one of these. So I will take the 2 population tile there. And then my second action is I'll use the recycling plant. It's going to flip my tiles back up, and then I draw a card to replace it. And that's a free action, so I can still do something if I want to. I could build something. Let me see. I've got 4 technology available to me. Is there anything else that I want to use? Yes, that's really good. Outpost with colony on an uninhabitable system. Wow, that's really good. 4, and I can get exactly one of those, and I'll do it. So I'll use that card for, that's 1 technology. I'll use this. That'll be 3 technology. This will be 4 technology, and then I'll also need 3 population, which I will use these developments here. So I'll use all of my development tiles, and that's exactly what I need. And I will take this terraforming. And that is a powerful one-use action that will let me put a colony onto an uninhabitable outpost that I have. So that breaks the rules of the game a little bit there. So that's my turn. And then, so I have to discard these 2 cards because of the rules, and I'm going to reshuffle again. And now I'm going to go to a 7-card hand, and that is the next reshuffle. And then these are going to rotate out here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. I'm going to use one of these extra black hole markers, and I'm going to just keep track of the row that I need to rotate for the next round. So that'll be one of those things here. This deck's about to run out too. And while I'm thinking about it, these cards that I discarded because they're not going to be used in this format of the game. So I'm going to get rid of that as well. We're going to get rid of that. And then we're also going to get rid of these. So we'll just go ahead and remove those game so I can add those to my notes for after the stream. All right. So we got to reshuffle the deck here. So, doing good, hair going crazy. All right. That's what happens when you're in the middle of growing your hair out. It's kind of in this awkward stage where it's not quite long enough to be long and it's not short enough to be short, and it kind of just does whatever you want or whatever you don't want. It does whatever it wants. It's sentient. Sentient hair. Probably a board game about that. There's a board game about everything nowadays. So I need 7 cards. 4, 6, 7. Man, this is a good game. This is a really good game. All right, so that is my turn, or that was my turn. So, and we're on the 3rd shuffle done here, so we're getting up to 8. I may even set a hard deck size limit, or maybe a maybe even a reserve limit too, like maybe take out the reserve bonus things. I'm not sure. We're kind of just developing this as we go. So, like I said, just keep an eye out. I'm going to post the notes on this solo mode after this stream, so you will be able to play this with your copy. If you don't have a copy, go to that link right there, order that, we'll ship it right to you. Pretty sure we still have a discount code active as well. Just go to the website. I'll have all the information there. All right, so I can reserve a card for free, but I have nothing that I want to reserve here. So What can I do? What can I do? Oh, I can do... I need to get another planet so I can place another one of these colonies. So I need to... But I can't go this way, so I have to go back this way, which is fine because I have double movement. So I think... I'm going to need to build first. So I will use 1 energy and 1 matter here. And that will let me build 1. I'm actually going to build a star base. I'm going to put that here on that colony. And now I'm going to... I don't know if there's anything else I can really do here, except maybe acquire some... Oh yeah, I think I should also take out duplicates of some cards here. Okay, cool. Alright. So I've got access to 2 technology. Is there any 2 technology that I want to do here? Ooh, the hyper search engine's actually really good. A little risky, but really good. Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll do that actually. So I'll use those 2. And I will take the hyper search engine. So that's going to reshuffle there. So that's going to cause me to take a Blaine token. Then we're going to redo these. Reshuffle those. Okay, I was wondering what was going on with that. All right, looks like we're all good here. So I will draw and replace that. Okay, so that was the first action. That's getting a little messy. I'm just going to put all of my reserve cards over here into the same reserve pile and just keep track of them. All right. No, that was my second action. I built a starbase and then I got a technology. So that's the end of my turn. I've got to discard a card. I'm going to discard one of those there. So I need 5 cards to refill my hand. And then we're going to wipe these technologies. Okay. All right. So that seems good. Next turn. Ooh. I'm going to do... Yes, that's really good. So I'm going to use terraforming. It's a 1-use action, so I'm going to remove it. I'm going to replace an outpost on a colony that's or a colony onto an outpost on an uninhabitable planet, which I normally can't do, but thanks to these really cool cards, I can. I'm going to put it here so I can start building, so I can go after these aliens over here. So that's going to increase my score by 2 points. So I'll go to 40. And that was a 1-use action, so it's not a free action, so that was one of my actions. And then my free action, I'm going to use my recycling plant, which is going to let me flip up all of my development tiles. Then I draw a card to replace the recycling plant. Oh yeah, I also need to get one of these. So I am missing one here. I think I want this one because it has energy on it. So all those are flipped up. I need to draw a card to replace it. So I have done that. And that was my... So first action, free action. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good on that. So now I need to move things. I've got 4 energy. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to spend 2 energy here, plus these 2 tiles for an energy on each of these. So that's 4 total. So I'm going to move my star base and my 2 fleets. They can go twice as far because of the thing that I have banked there. And they're going to move over here to Eliope, and we're going to fight this. So there's a base strength of 6 on the planet, and then we hit an 8 on the aliens. So that's a total of 14. I have 3, 6, 11, so they start at a +3, but I also have my +2 base here. So they're only at a 1-point deficit. And I'll go ahead and I will also activate my missiles. That'll let me draw 2 cards, and it will double the matter value of each of those cards. So I have this one that I drew. So this 2 is actually a 4, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to use that. So that's 4, so I'll add 4 here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm super far ahead of them now, so I'm going to beat them. And that is there. So I've taken those, and I moved, and I did that, and I'm there now. And I need to build something there. So I will use this, and then this token here for a total of 3, and I will put another colony here. So that's going to give me another 5 points. And I will also get the card for Eliope, and it will go into my discard pile. This game is so good. So good. Alright. That was my second action. So I will refill my hand. I have to discard a card. I'll discard one of these. So I have to reshuffle again, and I need 3 more cards. So we're at 4 reshuffles. So we're halfway through the reshuffle count. Okay. So I've got 4. I need 3. There's the draw deck there. All right. Now we've got to rotate these. Okay. All right. Back to my turn. I can reserve a card, but there's nothing I really want to reserve here. So, yeah, I'm going to remove the missiles as well. Okay. Nice. Okay, so I can do that. So I feel like I should try and acquire one of those. Yes. So I'm going to acquire a technology as an action. So I will use this here for the 2. And I'm going to get advanced cybernetics, actually. Wait, no, not advanced cybernetics. I'm going to use the 2, and then I'm going to use this for the 3. And then I will, so I have 3 right now, and then I'm going to go ahead and discard this one for the 4th that I need, and I'm going to get the temporary wormhole. So that'll let me start using wormholes to get around with. So that's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I'll remove one of those cultures as well. Oh, there's the actual wormhole technology. All right. So I could get the actual wormhole technology, and then I'd always have access to the wormholes. But I think I still haven't made any progress on with what's down here. So we shall see. So I got one, and so I need to do something else here. I'm going to use my recycling plant that I have here, so it'll flip all my tiles back up, because that seems nice and fair. Oh, did I... Oh, man. I didn't even take my tile there. I need to keep track of that. The tiles for my things there. Okay, and then I draw a card to replace it. Oh, I needed to lose units here, so I had to lose 1 unit. So if that's the case, I think I'm going to build. So I'll use... Yeah, so I'll use this for the 2 matter, and then I'll use this 2 energy here. Actually, I want to save that for movement. I want to use my cards for this. So I'll use the 2 energy there, and I'm going to build 2 units. I will build 2 more fleets, and I will add them here. And that will be my second action, so my turn's going to end. Discard a card. I'll discard the research labs. I need to draw 5. And then I'm also going to rotate these technologies out. Okay. Back to my turn. All right, so I need to move here. I need 5 energy total to move them. So I've got 2 in my hand. And then I've got these here, so I'll use 4, and then that's 5 total. So I will move all of these, and they will go over here to Jellyfin. And we're going to, base is 7. There's 2 here for the aliens, so that's a total of 9 for them. I have 14, so we're just going to crush these aliens. And I have won that combat there. I will lose half rounded up, so that's going to be 3, 4, 5. So I need to lose, or sorry, half rounded down, so I need to lose 2 of those there. And then I'm going to use this and this token here for the extra 2 population, and then I will put a colony here, which will give me another 5 points. And then I will also get that card. I will get Jellyfin into my deck. So that was my 2 actions. I've got to discard a card. I'll discard the Hyper Search Engine. Then I'll refill my hand. I need 4 cards, which I have exactly 4. So I don't need to reshuffle. We're going to rotate technologies. Okay. So back to my turn. I want to keep scooting along. I really need to put outposts over here. So I think I'm going to spend some turns doing that. So I'm going to use 1 energy for movement, and then 1 population here to get that. So I'm going to actually move this fleet to Boldar, and then I'm going to use that population to drop an outpost here. So Boldar will get added to my deck. It is over here in the uninhabitables. Nice. So that's going to go there. That will also give me 3 points for the outpost. I have to discard a card. I'll discard that. Now I have to reshuffle. So that's going to move that up. And then I need to rotate these technologies. And I need to get that wormhole technology if I want to use it. I don't know if I do. Actually. Not entirely sure if I want to do that. Let's see. Alright, so how many cards do I have here? I've got 4, so I need 3 cards. So that's that. Rotated. Move. Cool. Perfect. Back to my turn. It looks like I'm getting close to getting another one of these blame tokens, so should keep that in mind. Oh, nice. Okay. So that's pretty relevant. So there's an energy there. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to move, and then I'm going to use a population to drop an outpost. So that'll give me another 3 points. I'm still only at 56, so I haven't gotten as many points as I need to. Those are my 2 actions. I have to discard a card. Oh yeah, I need another one of these. Let me get rid of the... No, there's no reason not to. It's just a downside. So I guess I'll get rid of Eliope. I need to draw 3 cards. Okay. I need to rotate technologies. Alright. So back to my turn. I think I just want to keep scooting along. Well, those are the only outposts I can... Well, no, I can go up here and do an outpost, then I could go straight across, actually. That's 3 points a turn. That's a pretty good average, actually. So I'll do the same thing. There's an energy. There is one of those. So I'll move to Sogu. And I'll move to Sogu, and then I will drop an outpost here, and that'll give me another 3 points. And then those are my 2 actions. I've got to discard a card, so I'll discard Flatbush. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got to rotate technologies. So I'll take another blame token since I rotated technologies. Back up. All right. Back to my turn. Yeah, we did that. So I need to get some things done here. Are there any technologies that I want? I don't think so. I guess this development would... Oh, I need another one of these tiles. Yeah, I guess give me this one. And then we'll get through these. Okay. I need to build... This is what I need. So I need that, and then I'll need that. I'm going to build 2 units. So that is 1 action. So I'll build those 2 fleets there. And then I think I want to go after some aliens here. So I need some movement points, which is going to be... I need 5 total. I've only got access to 4 at the moment, so maybe I wait and see. Yeah, I think I just have to wait and see on this one. So instead, let's use these research laboratories, and I'll take this development here, and then that'll let me get access to some more things. I've got to discard a card. I'll discard that. I need 4 cards to replace. Then we're going to rotate technologies. Oh, come here. Okay. Alright, back to my turn. I'm almost going to have to reshuffle again here. Yeah, 8 seems really long after doing it this way. I'm just going to say 6 still. So it's still working on this, so yeah, we'll say 6 instead of 8 as normal. So if that's the case, then that actually changes how I would think about this. Yeah. So I need to get to... I have the energy that I need to move all these guys. So here is 3 energy, and then here's 2 more from my tile, so that's 5. We are going to move... I think I have easier access going this direction. So we're going to go over here to Waldat, and that is a 9, and that's a 7 for a total of 16 on the alien's part. And I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 17. So I'm already at +1, plus I have the 2 for what's in my storage. So I will actually just crush these guys, no problem. So I have done that. I'm going to use Recycling Plant to flip up all of my tokens here as a free action, and then redraw a card because game is fair. I might have to ban this race in solo mode because it seems so powerful. And so I drew a card to replace it, and now I'm going to use these 3 cards here, and I'm going to build my last colony here for another 5 points. So that'll take me to 64. I'll get my last tile here. I'm just going to take the 2 points because I feel like I need to just up that. And then I have my card here that's going to let me do things with it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to use the free action of out of storage, and I'm going to get rid of this here, and I'm going to exchange it out here for the extra 2 points. And I need an extra one of these. Alright, and then I gotta end my turn, so I'm going to refill my hand. So there's 2, I need 5 more. That's going to be a reshuffle. So since I lowered the turn count back down, this is actually going to be my, my last turn here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I think the blame tokens, I can say loss of combat. I think that's still relevant if I put a limit on reserving cards. Maybe, and I need to... I'm going to develop this a little bit further. I am going to play this on another stream later on, and I'm going to flesh this solo mode out a little bit more. Like I said, everything's unofficial, so this isn't created. This is just me kind of working on it a bit as before I started, but also as I go, I'm realizing things. So when I make my notes and actually get this fleshed out and I do it again, then I'll post all my notes there so people can play this and actually have like a fleshed out solo mode. So that's just a dead card in my deck now. Okay. So since my last turn, I'm going to use my hyper search engine. I'm going to discard X cards, and then I'm going to draw that many. So I'm going to discard anything that doesn't give me energy. So I'm going to discard 3 cards. I'm going to draw 3 cards. Beautiful. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so I want to go after this one here. Interesting. Okay. Okay, cool. Cool beans. Cool beans. Alright, so let's get... Oh yeah, with that combat, I needed to get rid of those units. So that means I need to rebuild and then I need to move. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use energy here. So I need 2 from that. And then I'll need 2 from that. So it's a total of 4. I'm going to build 2 units here. I'm going to build them here. And then I am going to use my token. So that's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 energy to move them here to Cygnus. And we're going to fight. Base strength 8. Then there's 3 for the alien, so that's 11. I have 14, so we're going to beat them here. Oh, wait a second. Oh, man, I messed up. Because I don't have control of this. I don't have an action to do that with. Oh, bummer. Because I had to build, I should have just pushed in. I had enough cards and I have enough abilities to where I could have probably just pushed over whatever they had. Didn't think about it, so I'll just eat that. Alright. So that's done. And that is going to be the end for me. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we will calculate these points here and make sure that I have what I need. I didn't reach the score I wanted to, actually, so I don't think I'm gonna win this one. So I'm actually already losing 3 points because of the blame tokens that I added in. So nothing here. So I've got 1 culture here. That'll give me some points. So that's 4, 6, 8 there. So I'll just say I've got, yeah, so there's 8. Where's my notepad? Losing all my stuff. All right, there we go. Okay. So adding these points in. So let's go with first thing there. So let's start with all of the discs and outposts and everything. Because that score should be correct, but we're going to double check it. Let's see, that's 7. That's 7. And then for the discs, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up there. So that's going to be 35. And then for the 7, 35. And then the outposts, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be another 15. So that's going to be 57 for that part. And then I need the other things that I have here. So I've got 4, 6, 8. So that's going to be 65, which is what I have 66. So I guess I just was off by a count. So it'd be 65. And then I'm going to lose 3 points because of the blame tokens. So 62 will be my final score. I set a goal for myself for 75, and I did not reach that. So I will consider this game a loss. So that's all right. So yeah, there you go. That is a handful of stars. Like I said, this solo variant does not exist. You can find one that I was originally going to play on BGG, if you look it up there. That is not what I just played. Like I said, that one I had a hard time interpreting. It seemed like it was a little hard to follow as far as the way that they wrote it, so I didn't understand how to actually play it, so I just kind of went with this homebrew instead that I made myself. And after playing through this, I've got all the notes that I need to flesh it out. I'm going to write everything up. I'm going to post it onto BGG or somewhere else so everyone can play it and enjoy it themselves in the solo mode. And then, yeah, so thank you for watching. This has been a ton of fun as usual. And just a quick sign off like I always do, give you a quick rundown of everything that's going on in case you didn't know already. Like I said, website, best place to find all of our games as well as all of our exclusive content. We have upgrade pieces, we have play mats, we have all kinds of exclusive stuff only on our website that you can get through us. So it's greyfoxgames.com, as well as this game, A Handful of Stars, so that link is right there at the top of the screen. You can go there, you can sign up for a newsletter, you can follow us on all our social media, you can keep up to date with everything that we are doing, because we do a whole lot around here. Other thing is currently on Kickstarter right now, we do have our game For Science. It is a real-time cooperative dexterity game, if you haven't heard of it. The theme is you are all trying to solve viruses and diseases that are in the world, because in the future everyone has molecular printers and they can create viruses very quickly and release them on the world. It's gotten out of hand, so you're kind of the last line of defense for trying to cure all of this stuff. So it kind of goes hand in hand with what's happening in the world. It wasn't planned. It just, nothing was planned about what's happening right now. But one of the things that we're doing on the campaign that's special is for every copy of the game that is sold during the campaign, we will donate $5 to the Direct Relief Charity. And that charity will, they currently are helping fight COVID-19, everything that's going on in the world right now. So you can get a great game that's super fun about curing viruses and disease, and then also at the same time you can help us donate to a charity that is doing that same thing in real life. Just a note on that, those funds come directly from Grey Fox. They do not come from the Kickstarter campaign at all. Those funds are not used one bit. It's 100% out of our pockets. So that's a great thing that we're doing. Go check it out. Like I said, For Science on Kickstarter. Everything you need to know is on the website. We post about it on our social media quite a bit as well. So just keep that in mind. Keep up to date with everything that we're doing. So that wraps up today's stream. I will be back again on Friday, same time, 3 p.m. Central. And this time I will be playing, just like I did last Friday, I will be playing Champions of Midgard with a custom solo variant. But this time we're playing with the expansions, and I have actually gone out of my way and I have custom created a deck. Last time I just kind of did everything handwritten and kind of threw it together, but I've actually put together an actual deck using Photoshop and using art graphics and assets and everything from the actual game, so it looks official. It looks like it's a real thing, and it's not. Once again, it's unofficial, but I'll be doing that on Friday, 3 p.m. Central. Make sure that you tune in, and I hope everyone stays safe and has a great day.